Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and we're here with another episode of Dark, episode 2. Um, I took the advice, I brought my notepad this time around, and I've rewatched the episode, the very first episode, around 2 or 3 times just to kind of catch some things that I may have missed the first time around. Um, and thanks again, someone had posted in the comments for the first episode that Netflix has a web page that kind of breaks down each character as they are revealed throughout each episode and the seasons as well. But I'm a bit hesitant to go there for fear of spoilers. So if there is anyone who is aware of the web page and maybe can advise whether or not it's best to go there to avoid any spoilers, can just let me know down in the comments. I may not necessarily use it, but because I prefer to just go as the show has progressed and make note of the characters and the names and the connections as they unfold myself. But if I do miss anything, it would be good to have some sort of reference that I can go back to and just check to see if I've missed anything. So not just have I brought the notepad, I've also made it one step further and brought my whiteboard into the equation. So what I've done, I've noted all the characters by name who we've been introduced to so far, and all the connections and family trees that we've been introduced to so far, or that we can discern from watching the first episode. So what will happen at the end of each episode, I'll just go to the whiteboard, and any new connections that we've arrived at, I'll update the whiteboard as we go along. There's just a few things to note as well, some things that haven't quite fit in anywhere as yet. Of course, there's Eric, who we know is missing, but I made an error in the last video. I'm thinking he had a connection to Ulrich, but he doesn't. So Eric is the anomaly for the time being, right? We do know that Mikhail disappears in the first episode, but Eric was the first we've been told, vanished. Secondly would be Ulrich's younger brother, who disappeared 33 years ago, which brings me to the cycle, right? Initially, I didn't think there was a cycle, but having Ulrich's mother speak about his brother disappearing and saying it's happening again, and there was the old man Helg, who said it's happening again, and then Hannah, Jonas's mother, who I'm assuming is a masseuse. She seems to travel around. That seems to be her job. And she was giving a massage to a gentleman who then said that he came to the town 33 years ago and things aren't what they were, aren't the way they were back then. And so there does seem to be a cycle, and unfortunately, sadly for me, it doesn't appear to be Pennywise the clown. That would have been amazing, but it's not Pennywise. He would have been here every 27 years, taking children, 1 or 2 kids. Yeah, not Pennywise. So, 33 years. So there does in fact appear to be a cycle when these events occur, and all the older folks who appear to have some knowledge of this, Jonas's grandmother Inez, the old man Helg, the older folks seem to have some knowledge about what exactly is happening. There has to be a reason why Michael left the note to his mother specifically, and not to his family, to explain his disappearance, or not disappearance, but why he chose to kill himself. Then there's Jonas having these hallucinations and seeing his dad. Seeing his dad at the cave wasn't the first time. I went back to watch, and I must have missed it the first time. He has been speaking to a psychiatrist, and he had said in a conversation when they were walking through the forest that he has been seeing his dad, and he's been speaking about it in his sessions, right? So there is that. So just a few things, just those things that have, don't necessarily have a place on the board just yet. I've made note of them to the side on the left, but I'll add their connections to the individuals that I have listed there as we go along. There is one other person, and that is Bartos, who is the only person, well, not the only person, but the only person of note so far that doesn't appear to have a connection to anyone. He's the guy that first met Jonas when he came back to school, right? But he doesn't appear to be connected to any of the family trees that we've been introduced to, at least not that I can see. So we'll see where Bartos fits into the whole equation, but he's an anomaly for the time being. So the last episode, just a quick recap to see where we are. I mean, we met Eric. We know where he is. Well, sort of. he's obviously being detained. Still don't know for why, how long, what the purpose of putting him in that chair is. Mikhail has disappeared. A body resurfaced, and I'm assuming that in their search for Eric the first time around, they would have searched the entire area and found nothing. So the body that they found has just been moved there. So where did this kid come from? So quite a few revelations, a lot of pieces on the board. Not quite sure where they fit in as yet, but I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. So can't wait to see where the journey takes us. So let's check it out. Ugh. What is that? It's not blood, it's black. Seeing dear old dad again. It's just a dream. It's just a dream.
Zeitpunkt des Todes
Lügen.
vor etwa 16 Stunden. Diese Verbrennung an den Augen ist eigenartig, wie geschmolzen.
Did they know who he is? I mean, it's a small town. They must know who the kid is, or if he's related to anyone there. I mean, we saw someone emerge from the cave in the very first episode. So could this cave be some sort of passage from maybe one timeline to the next? And that wouldn't. What would they need a chair for? And I'm guessing the chair. Oh. I mean, I'm guessing the chair is what's resulted in the damage to the kid's ear. Does the cave go under the power plant?
Was hast du da oben gemacht?
Oh, bist du bescheuert?
Yes, he's suspecting everyone, but
über die Höhlen geredet habe. Und Eriks Tod.
he's partly to blame. Shouldn't have taken him there in the first place and shouldn't have left him. Although, she's one of the persons I have noticed as, you know, an unusual entity in this whole picture. I'm not sure who she's connected to. So she is suspicious. Both her and Bartos. Blood. Another elderly person who's behaving suspiciously. It's Ulrich's mom, right? Still learning the names. What is her name? Jana?
Wo warst du letzte Nacht?
Die Schnurwale. Ich muss
She's asking the right questions.
Erst Mats, jetzt Mikkel.
What do you know, old man? He knows something. So that's Bartos' family. The lady from the hotel, Regina. Alright, so we now know where Bartos fits in. And we know his mom, Regina, doesn't really care for all this publicity that the town is getting because it's affecting her business.
Außerdem sieht es so aus, als hätte jemand den Jungen Sachen aus den 80ern gekleidet.
The 80s. Interesting. Same song that Eric was listening to.
Die zentrale Vermisstenstelle. Befragt jeden im Umkreis.
In der Höhle, da ist eine Tür. Ich habe eine Tür gefunden.
Kann ich die kurz sprechen?
Tür mitten in der Höhle. Die führt auf das Gelände vom Kernkraftwerk.
Raum komplett abgelaufen. Nirgends eine beschädigte Stelle.
Du glaubst es doch auch, oder? Dass das alles zusammenhängt. Der tote Junge Erik Meckel.
Your mother was telling you this before and you weren't listening. Ah. The guy getting the massage. Getting rid of what? I didn't get his name in the last episode.
Vielleicht ist es doch besser, wenn es jemand anders.
weißt du, was erfolgreiche von erfolglosen Menschen unterscheidet?
The plot thickens. I didn't get his name though.
Kann ich Ihnen behilflich sein?
Ich brauche ein Zimmer.
Okay, strange hooded man. Okay, search party. So is this
Vielleicht.
Ulrich's father?
Vielleicht auch nicht.
I know he's with his mom, but I'm just wondering whether it's his actual father. He's been busy. A journey through time. Is that what he uses to move through time? Yes, it could be. I don't see how they would have perfected time travel in the 80s, but you know, it doesn't exist in the current timeline.
Alexander hat den Erlass für den Durchsuchungsbefehl sofort blockiert. Aber wir sprechen gerade mit dem Richter. Ruf mich bitte sofort an, wenn du das hörst.
No search warrants. I know he's upset, but I mean, use that energy to go and help the search party. You do a lot better, a lot more good out there than in here. Although, I mean, I know they're not gonna find him.
In der Lage sein, durch ein schwarzes Loch zu reisen und zu schauen, was dahinter liegt. Und welchen Preis würden wir bezahlen?
Guess Eric's about to find out.
Einfach reinspazieren lassen. Es ist ein Hochsicherheitstrakt. Meine Leute machen Patrouillengänge, jeden Tag. Wenn Nickel hier wäre, wir wüssten das. Du verdammtes
I'm gonna wager a guess that it's no coincidence that Alexander appeared 33 years ago, and that's when, you know, the first disappearance happened, or supposedly the first.
Ich wollte dich sehen.
Is this really the time his son is missing? And it's not. It's a better idea to speak in a closed room to avoid suspicion. No, let's talk to her in the open, man. Come on. Is this really the time? She struck me as a bit odd since the very beginning because she seems to have moved on pretty quickly from her husband's death, first off. And this is just not appropriate. And whoever is doing this, why would they send the kid back with clues though? Tying him to the 80s or whatever the case is. It's funny because I think Charlotte was suggesting the same thing, that maybe Eric's dad is actually involved. But at the time, Ulrich was saying no. you know, maybe the kid just ran away. And yet here he is, searching the family's ground. Same points from the 80s. Oh, someone's awake. If he did take his son, that was quite a performance he and his wife put on at the police station. Watch your back. I don't like you, but I need you to get to the truth. The hell is that? A head?
Lass das fallen.
Okay, not a head.
Was ist das?
Drugs.
Erik und ich. Hier und da was verkaufen
Oh,
an der Schule.
okay. Or is this just a cover? You know?
Wo ist mein Junge?
Ich weiß es nicht, Jürgen.
Oh, looks like Eric's back. This guy from the hotel. I wouldn't tell mom about this. She's... I don't know if I trust her quite yet.
Ich glaube, ich vermisse eine Vorstellung von ihm.
Doubt very much that she loved him. Maybe that she loved the idea of him, a husband, but the person doesn't seem like it. Time for him to sneak out again. Hopefully his wife is smart enough to, you know, not bite the first time and she'll follow him. Okay.
Was immer auch passiert, du sagst mir die Wahrheit. Du lügst mich nicht an. Egal was es ist.
There goes the power again. So something happening at the power plant. More dead birds. A lot of dead birds. How is no one concerned about this though? If it's the radiation from the plant that's causing it. When is Mikkel? No. Mikkel? Okay. Alright. Appeared from the same cave, but the surroundings look different. So I guess the wind. Cars definitely not from the 2019.
Wer bist du?
Wieso? Wer bist du?
Mikkel. Ich wohne hier.
Spinner, bist am falschen Haus.
Hey
Ah.
Ulrich! Komm!
His dad. Okay. (1986) Chernobyl. All right, there we have it. Another fantastic episode of Dark, and yeah, a few questions answered, and of course, a lot more questions being added to the equation. So, um, I mean, at the end here, the most shocking revelation, of course, 1986, and so this series is supposedly a spin-off of the events of, or the effects of the Chernobyl event. And I guess we'll see how it ties in, but um, and as to how Winden itself, I'm not sure where exactly geographically. I have to look that up to see what in terms of proximity to the actual Chernobyl, um, you know, nuclear collapse this town was actually, but it's definitely interesting. It's definitely interesting. I'm intrigued. I'm now realizing that I went back through to look at the photo that that what's his name, Bartos was looking at. So he is the son of Alexander and Regina. So all right. So I now know where Bartos fits into the equation. So we have a good picture of all the families that are there and all the persons who are interconnected. So we'll see how it plays out. I had someone appear from the cave. I think I think we have a good idea as to what is happening. I guess what's missing is the why, or somewhat, because I can understand them taking children. I'm just not sure what the reason is for taking the children. Why send them back through to a different timeline? Why send some kids back to the future, but leave evidence of the timeline that they came from, the coin and the tape and the song? Why do all of that? I mean, I would assume that your intention is to keep everything on the wraps, keep everything a secret so no one finds out about whatever the plan is. I have no idea what the plan is, or why it's being done, or why they're doing it, but. Why leave evidence to whatever it is that you're doing? So we're still missing quite a bit of the picture. Luckily, Ulrich's mom, Jana, she suspects her husband of something. She's not quite sure what. But as I said before, the older folks appear to have some knowledge of what is happening. And, between Eric's dad, Ulrich's dad, and the old man that we met last episode, Helg, they all appear to have some knowledge of what is happening, but us, the audience, or at least I'm still very much ignorant of what exactly is happening. Luckily, I mean, Jonas, I don't know if it's so much suspicion, because I don't think anything that unusual has happened so far for him to go digging around, but it may be because his dad keeps coming to him, in his dreams, or he keeps seeing him. But his dad is dead. He's actually dead. He didn't disappear. He didn't vanish. He's dead. I'm not sure why there's even a connection between the two. But he's communicating with him somehow and spurring him to investigate whatever is happening. So he found a map, and he's, we don't know what the map represents, any of it really. But I'm glad to see Ulrich's dad is actually stepping up and actually investigating. He's motivated to actually find clues to solve this case, because when we first met him, he was an asshole. His wife is Katharina. She's been doing her best, and she seems to be a good mom. She's a principal trying to raise her kids, make her home a happy home. And he goes out jogging in the morning to screw the widow, across town. So he's been a complete dick this entire for the very first episode. But it's good to see him actually take an interest in the case, which he should have been doing from the beginning. It shouldn't be personal for you to actually take an interest and actually do something, especially when it's your job to do something. So I mean, he did have some suspicion for Eric's dad, Mr. Obendorf, and I'm not quite sure Mr. Obendorf is out of the clearing just yet. If only because, as I've said, either the husband or the wife in every family that we've been introduced to so far appears to have some suspicion surrounding them. So if it's not him, it's his wife, and either he put on an excellent performance at the police station, or his wife, who spat in Charlotte's face, put on an excellent performance if they're involved. So I'm not sure he's out of the clear just yet. He does work at the plant, or at least drives there sometimes, so he could have some connection. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still not. I still have no idea as to how this all ties together. The family themselves, Jonas's mom at least. I said there's a suspicious person in every family that's been introduced so far, and I mean Jonas's dad is, I guess he would have been that person, except he killed himself. I'm guessing, and rather than revealing whatever dark secret he's been holding in, he chose to kill himself, and he left a note to his mother, who obviously she's involved somehow. I'm not quite sure how to feel about Hannah. I said it in the last episode that for a grieving widow, she seems to have gotten over her husband's death rather quickly. I mean, to the extreme where you're not cheating on, but you're having an affair with someone else's husband, you know. So I'm not quite sure how to feel about her as a person, but that's not to say that makes her automatically a suspicious character in the events that are actually unfolding and happening. I get the impression that maybe she's not involved. She was just never in love. She was just there, you know, and so she was quickly able to move on. But that was just, you know, in poor taste with Ulrich. As much as I disliked him, searching for his son, grieving for the loss of his son, and she went there to make out with him. I mean, not the best time. And of course there's Alexander, who is the guy that was getting the massage from Hannah last episode, and he said, if I remember correctly, he said when things were different when he got there 33 years ago. So he's definitely a part of this. Not quite sure how he fits into the whole equation, but obviously the plant is a part of whatever is going on. This mysterious guy who appeared out of the caves and to the hotel. What I'm confused about, because initially I was thinking maybe the cave is some sort of passage through time, but that doesn't appear to be the case. It appears to, you know, it connects to the door to the plant. Unless the door is somehow the doorway that connects it to timelines. I guess that's possible. But then what would the purpose of the chair and all of that be? I don't know. And we did see that guy drag, you know, Eric's body at the very end there. So he's going to leave Eric's body there for someone to find. And we still don't know who the kid that was found at the very beginning. We don't know who that was. We don't know whose kid that was. So we're missing the why all of this is happening. Why whoever is doing this, we haven't pinpointed anyone. We have a few suspicious characters, but we still don't know why they're actually doing it. So but I'm very much intrigued. I'm interested to see how this plays out, not just because of the connection with Chernobyl, but also how what the format of the series will be with, you know, two timelines. We have Mikkel in one timeline now, and of course Jonas and the others in another timeline. Is it going to be a different timeline each episode? Are we going to be following both timelines simultaneously? That might be a bit confusing, but I have my board, so I should be fine. Yeah. But definitely another interesting episode, guys. I am intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued, and it's a complicated puzzle to solve so far, but the pieces are coming together nicely as the episodes go along. As the episodes go along, I'm sure more will be revealed, and it hasn't disappointed me so far, so I'm sure I'll enjoy it thoroughly. So be sure to post down below, let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one.